All right. So today we're going to start talking about vocabulary in text that we read. So while we're reading, the authors are trying to do a really nice job of using a variety of vocabulary that make you picture what's happening in their minds. They're trying to make sure that as they're going, they're not using very general vocabulary, but vocabulary that is specific and one that evokes an image that you can picture for yourself. So I'm going to read a little bit from this story, Tales of Fourth Grade Nothing by Judy Blume. Really great story that I've gone back to reread. It involves Peter, who's a boy, and he has his family has a young child, a young baby named Fudge. Fudge is a bit of a terror, so we're going to kind of see a little bit about what it's like for them. Okay. So I'm going to read about a page, page and a half, and just want to call out some words as I'm going. Okay. My grandma taught me to stand on my head when I spent the night at her house. I can stay up for as long as 3 minutes. I showed my mother, my father, and Fudge how I can do it right in the living room. They were all impressed, especially Fudge. He wanted to do it too, so I turned him upside down and tried to teach him, but he always tumbled over backwards. I like that she used the word tumbled and not fell. Tumbled gives this idea of like kind of your foot, like you're not just falling, but then you're kind of like rolling afterwards. It gives a little bit of a different image for me. So that word tumbled. Right after I learned to stand on my head, Fudge stopped eating. He did it suddenly. The word suddenly again stands out. Like it happened like that. Not like over time, but just right then and there. One day, he ate fine, and the next morning, nothing. No eat, he told my mother. She didn't pay too much attention to him until the third day. When he still refused to eat, she got upset. That word refused again, also, not just saying it in a way that is, he said no. Used it. That word refused is like you're stamping your foot down. I'm not doing it. Not budging. You've got to eat, Fudgy, she said. You want to grow up to be a big and strong, don't you? No grow, Fudge said. That night, my mother told my father how worried she was about Fudge. So my father did tricks for him while my mother stood over his chair trying to get some food into his mouth. But nothing worked, not even juggling oranges. Finally, my mother got the brilliant idea of me standing on my head while she fed Fudge. And the word brilliant again, not just great, but brilliant. I'm mixing it up a little bit. I wasn't very excited about standing on my head in the kitchen. The floor is awfully hard in there. But my mother begged me, and that word begged, right? But my mother asked me would be a little bit different. Begged gives a whole different idea and a context in my mind. She said it's very important for Fudge to eat, so please help us, Peter. So I stood on my head. When Fudge saw me upside down, he clapped his hands and laughed. When he laughs, he opens his mouth. And when my mother stuffed some baked potato into it. But the next morning, I put my foot down. No, I don't want to stand on my head in the kitchen or anywhere else. And if I don't hurry, I'll be late for school. Don't you care if your brother starves? What the mom said. That word starves again. Don't you care that that your brother doesn't eat? The word starves again evokes a whole different image. So while you're going, again, I want you to be thinking about the books that you're going to be reviewing and what are the word choices in there that the author uses that are unique and different, words that are interesting. And I want you to be really trying to go and pick those out as you're reading today.